Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very exciting and I've been promising it for a bit, but I will be sharing my updated handbag collection as well as reviewing everything that has gone in and out of my collection year to date. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so I've been trying to figure out the best way to share or do this video for you guys. And so I think it's going to be just putting the images on the screen and talking about what I took out of my collection and instead put into my collection. And I'll be reviewing all the unboxings that you've seen. So that way, if you've missed one, it makes sense what went out, what went in. Because I know for a bit I was going through a few returns, which we'll dive into. But I also want to point out that when I've been taking items out of my collection, I've noticed three themes that I really want to cover and that you'll hear me say in this video. So first theme is, how frequently do I use this bag? And that's really been the ultimate deciding factor on if I'm going to sell a bag. The next thing I've really been considering is, would I keep this bag or would I have bought it if it wasn't designer? So I think this goes along with the quiet luxury trend that I've been loving and all the bags that I've been gravitating towards. But I noticed that I was only keeping some of the bags that I had in my collection just because they were Saint Laurent or Louis Vuitton. And so that's something now that I'm going to consider the actual purpose and the use of the bag instead of just like what brand it is. And then the final thing I've really just been considering when it comes to selling bags and like honestly buying bags is, if I were to sell this bag, would I miss it so that way I can avoid regret? But also, would I repurchase it, right? So I noticed when I've been selling bags that I haven't felt the need to repurchase any of them. And so when I'm on the fence about if I want to keep or sell, I just take a step back and have honestly just been looking at it and asking myself, would I buy it again? And honestly, I've noticed that I haven't really wanted to rebuy anything that I've sold. So I think it really helps with deciding what to keep and what to sell. And then honestly, these three things have been the ultimate deciding factors in my decisions throughout this entire year. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in to the first bag. The first bag that I actually returned, I did not sell because I was still within the return period, was the Saint Laurent Uptown clutch. I noticed that I just need a strap or a handle on my bags, and I've really been noticing that I primarily need handles. I'm learning that that's what I really look for and want in a bag, and so I ended up returning that, and then I got the phone holder, which I absolutely love. I love the size, the durability. I can use it for everything. It's honestly a hit and miss bag. A lot of people dislike it. I personally love it. Both of these bags, I believe, are about the same price. The phone holder might be slightly more, but I think it's definitely more versatile than the Uptown clutch, primarily because it has the strap. I can dress this bag up or down. A clutch, you're pretty limited on what you can, like where you can bring it, and typically clutches, are more for like going out. I've been able to take the phone holder just to go shopping or maybe even just like a casual dinner instead of like a nice dinner, which is where I feel like the Uptown clutch is primarily used. Next item I sold this year was my Saint Laurent Rive Gauche tote. I actually made most of my money back because of the price increases, and that was one of the contributing factors to me selling it. But I knew I wasn't going to use it. I haven't really used it, and it just wasn't as functional. It was too large to really bring anywhere to use as a casual bag. And then I have so many other travel bags that I just decided to sell it. And instead is when I started getting my Louis Vuitton SLGs. So typically I separate SLGs and handbags, but for the most part, I've been using like the same funds to purchase just designer items in general. But when I sold the Rive Gauche tote, I did end up buying a few things, but I primarily sold it so I could get the Nice the Nice Mini. Next item I sold was the Louis Vuitton Monceau. I really love this bag. I really did. I thought it was great, but honestly, because I work from home, that's another factor that I've been just like considering when it comes to purchasing bags. I didn't really know how to style it to just go run errands, which is the primary reason I like leave the house. And I have so many other bags I would rather use that I can dress up. And so I decided to actually sell it back to Fashion File where I bought it from. And I ended up getting the extra credit so that I can get the Louis Vuitton toiletry pouch. Next was actually another return. So I don't know, I just didn't like the quality of the Saint Laurent card holder, and then I was just debating on getting a Louis Vuitton or a Chanel card holder instead. I also this year decided to just stick with Chanel and Louis Vuitton SLGs. So this was around the time when I decided that, and so I wanted to sell all of my Gucci SLGs, which we're about to go over. But I also thought I was still in the return period, let me return this. And then I ended up getting the Brazza wallet, which I really love because I didn't have a designer full-length wallet, and I've absolutely loved the Brazza wallet. So this leads me into, again, selling those Gucci SLGs. So I did love them, but there were so many different style SLGs and they had a repeat purpose. So I decided to sell the Gucci ones. And again, that's one of the things where I don't regret it. I'm not going to repurchase them. So I'm happy with what I did. I sold my medium Ophidia pouch and got the small Chanel pouch. The Chanel pouch was obviously a little bit more, but for this one, it wasn't using the funds. I took this out so I could get this other pouch. I also sold my toiletry Ophidia pouch from Gucci as well and brought in my Louis Vuitton Monster ABV, which is my most used bag so far this year. I absolutely love it. It's the best everyday bag. I never thought I was a backpack person. I'm so happy that I decided to try it because I absolutely love it. After that, I sold all of my cloth and paper agendas. I was not using them ever since I got all of the Louis Vuitton agendas. I decided to sell them all, and so I think I had like 10, I want to say, because I kept buying them. And for what I sold them for, I was actually able to get 2 Chanel agendas. So I got the small ring and then the medium ring vintage agendas. I absolutely love these two. As y'all know, I've been using them for different things, but I'm really happy that I sold the planners that I wasn't using and added in 2 vintage pieces from Chanel that I absolutely love. All right, and then I think I only had the Toiletry 26 for like a month, and then I ended up selling it back to Fashion File. I just liked using my pochette accessory more for travel, so I was trying to use the toiletry for travel, and I just had, between the nieces and then all my other SLGs, primarily the pochette accessory, this one took up too much space. And so I sold that back and then ended up getting the Kirigami piece from Louis Vuitton, which I also ended up selling just because it didn't work either. I think I was just trying to get more SLGs and try and get a little bit more functional and organized with by adding more, and I just realized that what I had was working fine. I didn't need to add any more to my collection. So this is when y'all saw the string of unboxings, but again, I try to keep y'all updated as much as possible, but I didn't keep everything. A lot of them were returns, and if y'all remember, I sold this. I got the Bomdia sandals. They didn't fit. I tried another pair of sandals. They didn't fit. And then I ended up finding these white sneakers from Louis Vuitton, and I still have these. I love these. These are probably my most used sneakers. So I was really happy that I sold the SLGs and got something that I know I needed. And I'm trying my best to do this in chronological order from when I sold things and what I replaced it with, but there will be a few changes. I'll have the full playlist of everything below if y'all are interested in anything. But the next bag that I ended up selling was the Dior bag. And this is the bag that made me think, do I really like this bag, or did I just want it because it was Dior? Yes, it was a great price and it was functional and I did like it, but I already had a black Chanel toe and I honestly didn't gravitate towards this one. I don't know why. I think I learned I'm not a fan of nylon bags either. This was the Nylon Lady Dior that I got for Christmas. And so I ended up selling it, and I am really happy that I did because it made me realize that I just kept it because it was Dior, and that was my only Dior bag. It was my first Dior bag as well, but I just wasn't using it, and I know I only was keeping it because of that reason. And so I sold that and then used the money for more SLGs, but that's when I got the Nice Nano and was really happy about that. primarily because this is when I was again trying to focus on all my upcoming travel and getting things for that, which brings me to my travel ins and outs. So I want to preface by saying I absolutely loved my Keep All 45. I love the epi leather. I needed a strap, I needed a handle, and I kind of alluded to that earlier. But the only reason I sold this bag, because I absolutely loved it, was because it needed a handle. There were times where it just got really inconvenient. The first time, second time, it was okay, but then when I'm going like, over layovers and I have to like hold the bag, and it was really heavy because I had like two or three like heavy items, like two laptops, my tablet, my planners, everything in there. It was really hard just to hold on my arm, and then it didn't stay on my suitcase without the strap. And so I decided to sell it, and instead I got the Louis Vuitton Sac Flannery 50, which I do love. I loved this bag. I honestly wish there was like a mix of these two, because that shoulder drop length was perfect. I could carry it on my arm, and I could connect it to my rolling suitcase very easily. However, I really learned this year, when it comes to bags, I don't like the Fichetta leather, and I ended up selling this one as well more recently. I don't think I've shared that update just yet, but I don't know. I didn't love the leather. I didn't like how it wore, because when I'm traveling, I don't want to have to baby my like bags. I want to be able to really, just use them. And so there was just so many like stains that would appear, and no matter how much you treated it, I didn't want to have to deal with that, and I just didn't like the way it aged. And so I ended up selling this one recently as well, but we'll cover that in a bit. As I mentioned, after that, I continued to sell the Gucci SLGs, and so I sold the card holder as well as the key pouch, and I got the Louis Vuitton Black Empreinte Charms card holder, which I absolutely love. I'm obsessed with this. I think it's so cute. I love how different it is with the charms, and I think it adds a little something extra, so I'm really happy that I sold the SLGs to get this. And then again, with selling the Gucci and Saint Laurent items, I did end up selling the monogram clutch, because I realized I was only keeping it because it was from Saint Laurent. I did convert it into a crossbody, and that's what made me keep it so much longer. But I think after I got the phone holder, it holds to me everything that I need it to hold. So it was more practical, and so I ended up selling the clutch, and then that's when I started getting into Strathberry as well. And I ended up getting this bag, which I also returned just because it was too thick. However, as y'all have seen, I have found other pieces from Strathberry that I've just loved. So the East West Mini was just too thick for me. That was the previous croc bag. I really love the white hobo that I got in California. The mosaic tote is incredible to hold your laptop, and it's a definitely like nicer, I feel like it's more casual because of the color, but it can still be used professionally type of tote. And then I have the Nano tote bag. This is like the bag that they're most famous for. I think this and the East West Mini, but I love the Nano tote. Another reason to why I was okay with selling the Saint Laurent clutch is because I was gravitating towards the Nano tote, because I could fit a lot more in there, and if I wanted to bring more things, I could. I did get a second East-West bag because I thought might have been just the color that I wasn't going for, and I did ended up returning it because I realized it was the width. And so I returned the tan as well as the croc. When I returned the tan, I ended up getting these Chanel sunglasses instead, which I absolutely love. They're really different, and these have been my most used sunglasses since I purchased them. And then speaking of sunglasses, I also got these Pilot Chanel glasses at the boutique, and then I also got just my regular reading glasses at the boutique as well. You can order them online though, but I really love the quality of Chanel glasses. I think they're incredible, and I think that they're timeless designs, which is why I love them so much. So I was really happy to have both of these and put my prescription in the glasses. All right, and now for my most recent sells, which I know I haven't shared yet. So I sold my Saint Laurent Mini Lou, and this is one of the bags where I realized that I was keeping it because it was designer, and I realized that I wouldn't rebuy it if I sold it. Like think I sold it a few weeks now, and I don't regret it because yes, it was practical. Yes, I did take it with, but there are so many other bags that I have that I use more and I could bring with for traveling. If you saw my most recent travel vlogs, I talked about how I liked taking this one for travel, but I realized that I have so many other bags too that I could do the same thing with. So I did end up selling it while the like resale value was still pretty high, and I'm really happy that I did. And I ended up getting some vintage pieces instead. I definitely made more money than I spent, but I ended up selling that, and instead I ended up buying with the funds. One of the things that I got was this vintage Gucci shoulder bag, and I am absolutely in love with it. It's a great everyday bag. I can fit my laptop in it if I want to bring my laptop with, books, you name it. And I got it for $100 on eBay. So it was definitely a great buy. That is going to be my most recent unboxing. If y'all are interested in that, it'll be in the playlist below. But I ended up getting that, and then a vintage Gucci Diana bag, which I absolutely love. I've had my eye on the Diana bag forever, and then when I saw that the vintage one goes for like such great like prices. For example, I got mine for $200, and I just had to update a few things. Again, I'll have that all in the video below, but I got that, and that is now, I think it's going to be my official like summer bag. I did end up selling my Chloe Woody basket, and I really think this is taking the place of that. I only used the Woody basket during the summer, as y'all know, but even then I only used it 1 or 2 times. The base is just way too large to really take with, and so yes, I would take it, but again, I have other practical bags, and so I just decided to sell it, again, with price increases to get my money, for the most part, back, and instead I got this Gucci Diana, which I've absolutely love and so happy that I have. And I got, this was significantly cheaper than the basket, and it's an all leather bag with gorgeous bamboo handles. All right, and then finally, as I mentioned, I sold my sack Flannery, and I recently purchased this vintage Louis Vuitton Riviera bag, so I'm really excited to see how this works out. I think this will be a great professional bag. I really love Louis Vuitton Epi Leather. I love it so much. So I'm just trying to find a bag that really works. Again, I wish the Keepall would have worked out. If I can find a way to incorporate D-rings, I would buy my Louis Vuitton Keepall 45 in Epi Leather all over again. But for now, I purchased this, and I love that it's going to match my Epi Leather agenda that I purchased, and I'm really excited to try it out. I'll have an unboxing soon once it comes in. But I think it's just going to be a lot more subtle as well. With the sack Flannery, I also learned that not only do I just dislike the vachetta, but I also didn't feel safe or comfortable traveling with the monogram. I would only use it so many times, and so I really just want to stick with the Epi Leather when it comes to travel pieces, so that way I feel more comfortable using it when I'm out and about. So yeah, that is all of the bags that and SLGs that I took out and what I brought in for this first half of the year. I know it's been a lot, but I'm really happy, again, as I mentioned, with where my collection is now. I hope you guys like the style video. When I did the wish list and I showed it on my iPad, I actually got a request to just do the images on the screen, so I hope y'all like this. And yeah, other than that, that is going to be it for this video. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and thank you guys so much for watching.